Long before the era of instant messaging and video calls, there was a man who dared to dream of a rapid long-distance communication. A man who, among the chaos of the French Revolution, saw an opportunity to use his scientific knowledge for the greater good. That's right, his name was Claude Chappe. In this video, we're going to explore the life of Claude Chappe, his groundbreaking inventions, and the controversies he faced. Claude Chappe was born on Christmas Day in 1763 in Boulogne, Sarthe, France. He was the grandson of a French baron born into a wealthy family with administrative posts. From a young age, Chappe was expected to serve the church. He was educated at the prestigious Lycée Pierre Corneille in Rouen, where he was trained to be a clergyman. However, the French Revolution changed his trajectory. As the revolution unfolded, Chappe lost his ecclesiastical post, but as they say, every cloud has a silver lining. The revolution, while disrupting his career, also allowed him to channel his scientific knowledge for the greater good. A significant influence in Chappe's life was his uncle, the astronomer Jean-Baptiste Chappe Theodoros. While his uncle was famed for his observations of the transit of Venus in 1761 and again in 1769. Interestingly, the first book Claude read in his youth was his uncle's journal of the 1761 trip Voyage en Sibérie, which detailed his travels to observe the transit of Venus. His brother, Abraham, wrote, "Reading this book greatly inspired him and gave him a taste for the physical sciences." From this point on, all his studies and his pastimes were focused on that subject. Because of his astronomer uncle, Claude may also have become familiar with the properties of telescopes. So, this early exposure to the world of science and astronomy, coupled with the upheaval of the French Revolution, set the stage for Chappe's groundbreaking invention. In the early 1790s, Claude Chappe and his four brothers, all without employment, embarked on a mission to develop a practical system of semaphore relay stations. Their goal? To create a system that could transmit messages over land faster than any messenger or horseback rider. This was a challenge that had been proposed in ancient times, but never realized. The speed of message delivery had remained essentially unchanged since the days of the Roman Empire. In 1792, Chappe demonstrated a practical semaphore system that would eventually span the entirety of France. This system was composed of a network of towers, each within visible distance of the others. Atop each tower was a wooden mast with two pivoting crossarms, which could be positioned in various ways to spell out messages in semaphore code. The operator in one tower would move the arms to create the message, which would then be read by the operator in the next tower using a telescope. This message would then be passed on to the next tower, and so on. This was the first practical telecommunications system of the industrial age, and it remained in use until the 1850s, when it was replaced by electric telegraph systems. The Chappe brothers found through experimentation that the angles of a rod were easier to see than the presence or absence of panels. Their final design had two arms connected by a crossarm. Each arm had 7 positions, and the crossarm had 4 more, allowing for a 196 combination code. The arms, which were black and counterweighted, could be moved by just 2 handles. Despite attempts to use lamps mounted on the arms for night use, these proved unsatisfactory. The relay towers were placed 12 to 25 kilometers, or 10 to 20 miles, apart. The first symbol of a message to Lille would pass through 15 stations in just 9 minutes. The system was much faster than post riders for conveying a message over long distances and had cheaper long-term operating costs once constructed. The semaphore systems was a practical solution to a real-world problem. During the French Revolution, the need for rapid communication was more critical than ever. Chappe's system provided a way to transmit messages across the country faster, so the impact of this invention was immediate and profound. In August 1794, news of the capture of Condé-sur-Lescaut from the Austrians reached Paris in less than an hour, thanks to the Chappe semaphore. This was a remarkable feat at a time when the speed of communication was too slow. Moving on, the success of the system led to the construction of new tower lines reaching out from Paris to various cities across Europe, including Sweden, England, and Germany. So each tower was equipped with a pair of telescopes, one pointing in either direction and a two-arm semaphore. The arms of the semaphore could assume 7 clearly visible angular positions, allowing for a 196 combination code. At its peak, the semaphore system connected major cities with over 500 stations, spanning more than 3,000 miles, with Paris as a central node. Did you know Chappe's system was widely adopted by other European states and was even used by Napoleon to coordinate his empire and army? That's true. This network extended as far as Venice, allowing the emperor to get messages to his armies in northern Italy in a matter of a few hours. It marked the beginning of the industrial age of telecommunications. However, like all great inventions, the semaphore system had its time. By the 1850s, it was replaced by electric telegraph systems. However, Chappe's journey wasn't without its challenges. One of the major ones was the system's susceptibility to weather conditions. The semaphore system relied on visual signals, which meant that factors like fog and rain could severely hamper its effectiveness. Another challenge was the system's vulnerability to prying eyes. Since the semaphore system used visual signals, anyone with training could potentially read these messages. This raised concerns about the security and confidentiality of the information being transmitted. Even with these challenges, the semaphore system was widely adopted and used for several decades. However, it was not immune to controversies. At the height of its success, rivals contested the priority of Chappe's invention. These disputes took a toll on Chappe. Known to have a natural tendency towards melancholia, the controversies surrounding his invention deepened his depression. In a tragic turn of events, Chappe took his own life. His semaphore system, however, lived on. By the 1850s, the semaphore system was gradually replaced by electric telegraph systems. This system, which transmitted information by coded signal over distance, was about to change the game. The semaphore system, despite its proven worth, couldn't compete with the speed and efficiency of the electric telegraph. The first commercial system, invented in 1837, marked the beginning of the end for the semaphore era. But that doesn't mean Chappe's invention was forgotten. Far from it. Despite the decline, his semaphore system was the first practical telecommunications system of the industrial age, and it paved the way for the advanced technologies we use today. Nowadays, we live in a world of instant messages, video calls, and real-time updates. But the principles that underpin these technologies can be traced back to Chappe's work. His semaphore system laid the groundwork for the development of modern telecommunications. His work continues to inspire us, reminding us of what we can achieve when we dare to innovate. His invention earned him the title of telegraph engineer and inspired others to push the boundaries of what was possible. Alright, for those of you who've stuck with us till the end, we've got a bonus segment for you. We're going to share some interesting facts about Claude Chappe that you might not know. Fact number 1. The origin of semaphore and telegraph. You might be surprised to learn that the words semaphore and telegraph were actually coined by Chappe himself. Semaphore is derived from the Greek words sema, meaning sign, and phoros, meaning bearer. Fact number 2. Family ties. Did you know that Chappe's brother, Ingenious, was a member of the Legislative Assembly during the French Revolution? His political influence played a key role in garnering support for the construction of the semaphore line from Paris to Lille. Fact number 3. Commercial use attempt. In 1824, Ingenious Claude Chappe attempted to commercialize the semaphore line by transmitting commercial messages such as commodity prices. However, the business community was not ready for this innovation, and the idea didn't take off. Fact number 4. The final message. One of the last pieces of news transmitted via the Chappe telegraph was the fall of Sevastopol in 1855, a poignant end to an era of communication. And that's a wrap for today's video. From the early days of Claude Chappe to the modern era of instant messages, the world of communication has truly come a long way. Now we'd love to hear from you. What do you think about Claude Chappe's story? How do you think our world would look like if he hadn't invented the semaphore system? Do you know of any other inventors who have left a lasting impact on our world, or any story that you want us to cover? Drop your comments below. And if you found this video useful, please like it and make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our next videos. And as always, thank you for watching.